I am a foolish, foolish young lady.
Hey sis, welcome back to my quarantine. Today we're going to do a chatting about new product releases video, because even though we're all still in quarantine, right, that does not stop the horror train that is capitalism from chugging on ahead. I don't know why. Maybe I've just been consuming less beauty content. Maybe I've been spending my money on other things. But for some reason recently, every time I encounter a makeup product that is more than like $10, it offends me on a personal level, on a molecular, cellular, mitochondrial level. If moving forward, like 80% of my critiques on the products that I talk about in this video are, that's too expensive, well, don't say I didn't warn you. I want to start by talking about the redheaded stepchild of makeup brands, Urban Decay. Urban Decay has a couple releases in the pipeline and things that have already released that I have moderate to severe opinions about. One of them is actually a mascara. This quirky little bitch is the Lash Freak mascara from Urban Decay. I don't know if this has been released yet, but what I can tell you is I want it. And I'm annoyed at the fact that I want it, but I do. Look at this absurd brush. What is this even supposed to do for your lashes? I don't know, I can't tell, but I want to find out. I haven't ever used or enjoyed one of Urban Decay's mascaras, but hey, I love to make terrible choices and give in to mortal folly, so why not? Mascaras are pretty low risk as far as goofy impulse purchases go. And I know those well. It wouldn't be a video about new releases that involves Urban Decay if I didn't have a sequence dedicated to a palette that is currently being made fun of. Let's talk about the Stoned Vibes palette. I don't know with what malevolent deity Urban Decay has a deal that dictates they need to release one incredibly embarrassing looking eyeshadow palette that's going to get dragged all over Instagram every single year. But fortunately that deity cuts them a break soon, because I cannot imagine the money they are losing on creating and advertising these palettes that not a single soul is attracted to. My god, they've got to be hemorrhaging capital. I feel really bad for them. So this is the Stone Vibes palette, right? It's got 4 matte shades and 8 glittery, sparkly shades. It feels kind of random. The 4 matte shades that were chosen to be included in this feel like they kind of were thought up out of nowhere. I understand the goal of this is clearly to make a variety of maybe darker, cooler toned, but still high impact looks. And I don't really know what I could do to this palette to make it better. And the commenters on Trend Mood's Instagram are definitely not sugarcoating their thoughts about this. Would have been cool 10 years ago. Multiple people said that it reminded them of Claire's makeup, which is mean for 2 reasons. 1, because it means it looks like makeup for little children, and 2, because it means it looks like it could have asbestos in it. And that's not a nice thing to say about anything. Stoned Vibes. I think they meant related to stones, but damn, what a stupid name. The name Stoned Vibes definitely harkens back to the early era of Urban Decay when everything was named after like rock and roll, partying and clubs and bars and like drugs, which is not a bad idea, because anytime anyone criticizes Urban Decay, they're just like, man, I wish they'd get back to the good old days when I loved this brand. You know, when I was 11 and everything in Sephora was cool. But I'm not gonna lie, were I 11 years old in 2006 in a Sephora while my mom shopped at Chico's or Coldwater Creek and I saw this palette, I would dig all of my little Cheeto stained fingers in there and rub it all over my face and have the time of my life. But as an adult who wears makeup, I probably wouldn't buy this. Finally, we have one last attempt from Urban Decay to talk about. This is the Naked Ultraviolet palette. What you may be wondering right off jump is, why would you put naked and ultraviolet in the same sentence? Urban Decay has been moving away from the original meaning of the word naked for years at this point. You could argue they started it with the Naked Cherry or the Naked Honey palette. I would argue that it started even before the Naked Heat, all the way back when the Naked Smoky released and then bombed. So it's not new that Urban Decay is calling something naked that is in no way, shape, or form a naked palette. The reasoning makes perfect sense to me. The original naked palettes were like the king and queen of the beauty community for years, so why not continue the series? So they've kind of backed themselves into a corner. The past couple naked palettes have not even been like superstars of the beauty community. They've done okay, but they haven't been like absurdly incredible, because nothing from Urban Decay has, because for whatever reason, Urban Decay is the Anne Hathaway of the beauty community, and at the same time, everyone just decided they hated hated it. At this point, the Naked line is the only thing that makes Urban Decay money. So if they're gonna release a new, what is this, 14 pans, 12 pans, whatever, numbers. If they're gonna release a new 12 pan palette, it's smart of them to put it under the Naked umbrella because that's what has made them money in the past, even when it doesn't make any logical sense. Like when releasing a palette called Ultraviolet that is full of purple eyeshadow. The palette has these like 5 peachy neutral shades at the beginning of it and then descends into the purple shades with this like kind of turquoise shade being the divider in the middle. The last like 5 colors in this I think are really pretty. I think they make sense. I think they look fun to use. I think I would get a lot of use out of them because I love purple eyeshadow. But they're clouded by this bland introduction to the palette that I feel like they have to include there because it's a Naked palette. So it has to be like kind of vaguely neutral looking for someone. I think if this was all really dimensional, interesting, matte purple shades and then went into those 5 or so metallic purples at the end, this would be a really cool, interesting, like semi-monochromatic palette, and I think it would be fun. Let's talk about some brands that are trying to entice me, seduce me, trying to put the moves on me, and I don't appreciate it. Although speaking of moves, this is just like a little excess detail. I'm talking to the sky right now. Don't, it's not serious. I'm just talking to this gentleman right now. And the other day, he called me dreamy. So that was fun. Nabla Cosmetics is a brand that I've talked about wanting to buy something from before, but I never actually have. And then they went and released these lip glosses. And I'm just not supposed to say anything about it. Look at this with the little like water sparkle aqua pet acrylic thing up there at the top. Those are mad pretty. And the colors have like just the right amount of pigmentation and sparkle where it's like not too much and it'll still look pretty, but it's like casual. Also, these glosses are $15 each, which like just flies under my limit of too expensive. I think I said $10 in the intro of this video, but like really? Like really? As long as something is like below 20, my horrible makeup goblin brain can justify it financially for myself because I hate having money. I hate being responsible. I read The Financial Diet, which is a financial wellness blog that I read sometimes because it was started by Chelsea Fagan, one of my favorite writers on the internet. I read the advice and I'm like, perfect, but you're forgetting something. What if I have no self-control? It's an important step in the process that I don't think they're addressing. Like, can I talk to you for a second about this? Do you know what this is? Do you know what this is? This is a Kosas wet lip oil, okay? I don't even like this that much, but it was $27. Granted, I bought it with a gift card, but I still spent $27 of someone else's money on a product. And I waffled on this for like 4 months about whether or not I should buy it. And then I did, and it's just okay. Pretty much its only real flaw is its packaging. The applicator does not grab that much product, and I hate lip product applicators that you pull it out and there's one little dewdrop, one little whisper of the heart of product on it, and you gotta dunk it back in 4 or 5 times to cover your whole lips. If your lips are as beautiful, full, and luscious as mine are, everyone say thank you, Mother Armenia, for giving me these beautiful, delicate, gorgeous features. Thank you, Mother Armenia.
Where in the blue hell did that come from? Weren't we talking about Nabla?
These lip glosses are mad pretty, Nabla. You got me. You might have got me. They're not available on Ulta yet, which is the only thing stopping me from acting up right now, okay? But I am straining against my chains. Bitch, can you relax? Girl, I sanitize my bottles when I get home from the drugstore. Don't look at me like that, okay? I was gonna talk about the Violet Voss Sakura palette, but what is there to say about this? What could I possibly say about this? When asked to call upon the mental image of beautiful cherry blossom trees, who doesn't think of 5 near identical bronze shades? I know that's what I think of. Are you relaxed? Are you relaxed? Okay. That's so good. I love kombucha so much. God. It's mostly because it's a socially acceptable way to drink vinegar. And if I could drink vinegar and not have people judge me, I would. I love vinegar. Actually, it's more so if I could drink vinegar and not have all of the enamel and all of my teeth immediately fly the coop, I would. Do you guys want to talk about fancy classy makeup for a while? I think you do. Let's talk about fancy classy makeup. Gucci. Gucci, or as it is pronounced in Italy, Gucci, is putting out a line of bronzers, which is very exciting. You know, every time a brand puts out a line of bronzers, there's always that moment where we're like, is this gonna be the brand that actually like puts out a line of bronzers that like dark-skinned black people can use? I'm sorry, do you have something to say? Listen to her. She is chit-chatting. Ew, I hate when it like floats up to the top. I know it's supposed to be there because it's kombucha, but it's like, oh gross, I'm like drinking a mushroom. I mean, I don't know. This dark one is like kind of dark, but it's also like burgundy. But I will say this, Gucci, the packaging of this is beautiful. This Tiffany blue with the gold accent, girl, it's so simple and minimal and beautiful. I think it's gorgeous. I want a compact that looks exactly like this, that has something in it that I would use every single day. Like a translucent powder or something. So you could like take it out of your purse like 11 times a day and be like, oh, you know, I just need to, I like that I'm pantomiming using a compact and brush, like I don't have 5 cheerleaders worth of makeup directly in front of me. I guess I'm just an actor, you know? A little bit of a touch-up. Oh, this is my Gucci. I also think the name of this in French that accompanies it is very pretty. Gucci Poudre de Beauty Éclat Soleil Bronzing Powder. I think that's really pretty. And I haven't like had to actually know French since 2012, but isn't that like sunshine beauty powder? Isn't Éclat Soleil sunshine? Oh, I think that's so pretty. Shouldn't that be Italian? You gonna be cool? Doesn't sound cool to me. Can you relax? I'm just thirsty. I'm getting so many enzymes. These are $62, not this, these bronzers. I'm not gonna tell you not to spend $62 on a bronzer because bronzer is a foreign concept to me. I don't wear it, so I don't actually know what is a reasonable price to pay for bronzer. Kind of like my same thing with foundation. Feels a little hypocritical to tell people not to buy something I don't use anyway, but that does seem kind of expensive. I mean, I have friends who love that one really expensive Chanel bronzer that's supposed to be amazing, the like Soleil Teint de Chanel or something. So maybe you do need to splurge on bronzer. Who knows? Not me. But I tell you something, I'm gonna tell you something. Let me tell you something you don't need to splurge on in the next product. Straight up, every time I remember that this next product exists, it makes me hate cosmetics. So let's talk about Charlotte Tilbury. This is a brand I've brought up before because I think Charlotte Tilbury is a very entertaining figure in the beauty world. She sells makeup and she sells skincare, but she's also been quoted as saying that she literally never lets her husband see her without makeup. She literally goes to bed with makeup on. Sort of makes sense if you sell makeup, but as someone who sells skincare, why would you advertise that you never let your husband see you without makeup? If I sold skincare and if I charged what she charges for my skincare, I would be like, I've literally never worn makeup once. Do you see how pretty I look right now? This is all magic cream, baby. And granted, that's not like part of the advertising. What I just mentioned, in which Charlotte Tilbury said that she wears makeup to bed, is actually from a 2013 interview with Into the Gloss. So it's not even current, but it's still like an absurd thing to say if you want people to then buy your skincare. I don't know if I want to buy skincare from someone who at a point in time did not believe enough in the powers of their own skincare that they wore makeup at bedtime and in the morning so that their husband wouldn't see them barefaced. Now granted, I've never been in a relationship, which I feel like I say in every single one of my videos now. I guess it's just applicable. That sounds unhealthy. Anyway, why have we been talking about all of this? Because Charlotte Tilbury has taken her best-selling magic cream. She's thinned out the formula, yeah, and she's put in some SPF, and she's still charging $100 for it. I do a spit take, but these are expensive. $100. Let me explain what the magic cream is. It's a moisturizer. That's like not a real price. Like nothing in life is $100. If this was like $95, or like $99.99, which would be weird. But if it was like $98, actually, it. If this was $105, I would be more okay with that price. Something where like the value is $100. Like if you're gonna buy it, you have to be cool with parting with $100 of your money, but it's not right on the money $100. Charging $100 flat for this, it's like a cartoon price. It's like a fake storybook, fictional, like, oh, how much for these 3 eggs? $100. Like that, you'd be like, what? How dare you charge $100 like flat? That's like a money bag that has like a dollar sign on it. Like how much is this? $100. Are we in Animal Crossing? How dare you, Charlotte Tilbury? $100. What is in the magic cream, Charlotte? Paint chips from the city of Atlantis? Is it the same stuff that was in the briefcase in Pulp Fiction that glowed orange whenever they opened it? Girl, this lotion better marry me. If I rub this on my stomach, it better like allow... Oh, okay, that's maybe too dark. I'm gonna say it anyway. If I rub it on my stomach, it better allow me to have children. You know, correct God's mistake. Straight up, this cream better resurrect my father. Yo, she said, give me a Ben Franklin. Is Franklin on the $100 bill? I don't know. I've never seen one in person because I'm a regular human being. This infuriates me. And I know I did this in my last Chatting About Releases video where I riffed on Charlotte Tilbury selling a neutral eyeshadow quad for $53 for like 5 full minutes. I think this makes me extra mad because I've been pissed off about the magic cream being $100 for the past like 6 years. Like every time I go to a Sephora with a friend who is maybe not as into makeup, I will go to the Charlotte Tilbury display and I'll cover up the price of the magic cream and be like, all right, bruv, how much do you think this is? And they're like, I don't know, it's a lotion and I'm a normal person, so like 20 bucks. And I'm like, and I take my hand away and they're like, where are we? $100? Why have you brought me to this place? And I'm like, because I have to go touch everything at Fenty and not get any of it. Obviously. Oh, is it enriched with Replexium for younger looking skin? She really said, give me $100 for this. Girl, you can have 100 of these nuts. How about that? She really said, can I have $100 for this? I was like, no. Girl, I will shoplift this before I pay you $100. I've never shoplifted. I am too tall to shoplift. Listen, looking at this image is making my blood pressure rise dangerously, and I have a history of heart disease in my family. And even though I'm getting these enzymes and probiotics right now, we need to move on. Next up on a parade of stuff you don't need to spend your money on, let's touch in with our girly Natasha Denona. Natasha Denona is putting out like a whole bunch of like bronze themed products, which includes the bronze cheek palette, the bronze eyeshadow palette, and 3 new Euphoria glosses. Like, I get that all of this is pretty. You have to remember, this is just bronze eyeshadow. And I feel like most eyeshadow, statistically, is bronze.
And I just got my grade from my statistics class in, and I got a B, so if anybody knows statistics, it's this guy.
Actually, here's a fun thing. If you are a person watching this who actually buys makeup, I would like you to go to your makeup collection right now and count how many individual pans of bronze eyeshadow you already own. I will do it too, and I will have Editing Nisa pop in somewhere here
Oh, wait, really?
and announce how many individual pans of bronze eyeshadow I already own. Take it away, girly.
26.
Knowing that about my collection, there's absolutely no purpose to own this. Granted, this being one of the smaller Natasha Denona palettes means this palette is actually only $65. I have had to talk myself down from spending $129 on Natasha Denona palettes before, so this compared to that is like free. I own a Natasha Denona palette. I own the Sunset palette. I think the sparkly shades in it are quite pretty, but I also almost never reach for that palette because it's not super often that I need a really high impact, incredibly reflective bronze. It doesn't come up that often. Even though bronze eyeshadows are neutrals, wearing a really heavy, really metallic, really reflective bronze is kind of a statement eye, and I don't need to do that all the time. And I definitely don't need to pay $65 for a palette of several different options for that look. The cheek palette I would consider to be a little bit more forgivable, especially for me. I have been tempted by these little 4-pan Natasha Denona cheek palettes before. I have to remind myself, like, $55. Do I need to pay Natasha Denona $55 for 4 highlighters at the same time? No. But this might be a fun treat on the horizon if I ever get another Sephora gift card. I'll just say that right now. I do think it's pretty, but it's just not necessary. I think Euphoria is a very cutesy name for this gloss line, but I don't really even be vibing with these shades that much, so it's all a no to me. If there was a clear one, then King Goblin might have a problem, but there's not as far as I know. And if Natasha Denona does make a clear gloss, be a homie and don't tell me. Finally, to round out fancy makeup time, I want to talk about Rituel de Fille, which is not a brand I've ever brought up here, but I've always admired them from a distance. I think their packaging is really pretty. I like the way that they write about their own products is very poetic and meandering and flowery, and it's very, I like it a lot. I think it's pleasant to behold. And they're coming out with this metamorphic highlighter that also has like a charity donation attached to every purchase of it, and it's this like iridescent white green like gooey looking nonsense. It's called the Chimera Metamorphic Highlighter, and as someone who studied both like Greek and Roman mythology and Latin in high school, that's a very exciting reference for a makeup product for me. According to Indie Mood's caption about this highlighter, and I will read, 100% of the profits from the sale of the Chimera Metamorphic Highlighter are going to the Equal Justice Initiative and the Innocence Project, two organizations doing essential work to end mass incarceration, secure equal justice, and reform the prison system whilst strengthening families and communities in the United States. Those are all incredibly important things. You could also just independently donate to those organizations outside of buying a highlighter, but this is beautiful. I actually already own a really pretty iridescent green highlighter. It's from Kaleidos. I'm actually wearing it right now paired with a pink highlighter. It's called Laser Glazer. They sent it to me in PR a couple months ago. She's real gorgeous. Like, she's very pretty. Anyway, I just thought this was beautiful and something that I would actually feel good about supporting if I were going to buy it, so I wanted to make you aware of it. Speaking of which, I have like 5 other Rituel de Fille things to talk about. The Color Nectar Pigment Bombs, which are multi-use cream pigments that are themed around like summer and like nature and like meadows and grass and bees and ecosystems and whatnot. It's fun. It's unrestrained summer fun. Once again, I will read. Listen to this product description. Dewy, translucent, moisturizing, blendable, ambrosial formulas with an irresistible jelly texture and finish. Vibrant shades inspired by sweet flowers in bloom. The wild lure of pollinators, glistening honey, and the hum of the hive. I am so sorry, Sylvia Plath. Like, I didn't realize I was in the presence of the poet laureate of makeup brands. That's gorgeous. Why does that make me want to buy makeup? What's wrong with my brain? These shades are beautiful, and these shade names, Bee Sting, Glasswing, Bloodflower, Snapdragon, and Wasp. Oh my god, this is like getting me right in my meow meow. Like, I am so in love with the idea and conceit and aesthetic of these. Putting aside the packaging, putting aside the product description, putting aside the cool brand, putting aside literally everything about this, I love multi-use balm type things and like cream blushes and stuff I can use everywhere. These are 24 bucks each, which is expensive. And I'm not saying I'm gonna do anything right now. I'm just gonna say that it's very unlikely that I will finish out the summer having not purchased one of these. That's all I'm gonna say. Let me talk about this for a second. So Ulta Beauty has their own house brand of makeup, right? I've used a lot of their lip products before. I really like their house brand. I've never tried their eyeshadow palette, and this release is making me want to continue not trying them. Ulta Beauty is collabing with Harry Potter to put out this Harry Potter themed collection, and there's an eyeshadow palette for each of the 4 Hogwarts houses: Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, Slytherin, and the 4th one. This is just really funny timing. These palettes are like, whatever, I don't really care about them. I'm not going to get any of them. 16 bucks each, whatever, it's fine. The reason I want to talk about this, it's very apt right now that this is coming up, because I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but people my age, millennials, are getting a little bit roasted right now by the generation below us, which is the Gen Z kids, the Zoomers, if you will. Recently, for whatever reason, it has become a fun little meme to make fun of millennials on TikTok. And one of the jokes that gets lobbied around when the Zoomers are making fun of millennials is that we're all obsessed with our Hogwarts houses. And we're like, oh my god, sorry, I am such a Slytherin today. Whoops, you guys, did not mean to do that. That was totally my inner Hufflepuff coming out. Oh my god. Guys, wasn't that restaurant Amazeballs? I knew you guys would like it. It's because I'm a Ravenclaw. I'm just like very intuitive and smart. You guys, I have to go home though. I have to do my taxes. Ugh, adulting, am I right? Shut up, you're right, but shut up, you're hurting my feelings. For reference, I am a Slytherin. Do I know that because I'm a millennial? No, I know it because everyone else my age was reading Harry Potter growing up while I was reading Warrior Cats. So by the time I was like an adolescent, everyone was super into Harry Potter and I was like, what? What's that? I guess the lesson at the end of all of this is, J.K. Rowling can kick rocks and flip-flops. Moving on. KKW Beauty, which is Kim Kardashian West's makeup brand, which, by the way, if Kanye West does go through with running for president, and my options are Donald Trump, Joe Biden, or Kanye West, you guys don't think it would be cool if, like, we could be like the president of the United States, also known as the man who recorded Jesus Walks? He's never going to hell. Do I have any faith in electoralism? No. The president of the United States, also known as the genius behind the new workout plan, the president of the United States, once quoted as saying, "Rock forever 21, but just turned 30. Start a fight club, Brad reputation." I don't care about anything anymore. I know Kanye West said he was gonna run for president like years ago when no one believed him, but that was back in 2016 when like people still believed in things. So, oh my god, I was talking about Kim Kardashian West. That's why I brought this up. Okay. Kim Kardashian West Beauty is putting out the Classic 2 collection, which features a revamp on their original Classic palette, and they are re-releasing all of their cream lipsticks as glosses. Isn't that special? I want to talk about this eyeshadow palette, and by this eyeshadow palette, I mean every single one of Kim Kardashian West Beauty's eyeshadow palettes. I just think it's very bold and courageous of Kimberly to release the exact same eyeshadow palette a couple times a year, every year for 3 straight years. I just think that's super gutsy. Like, I'm in graduate school, I probably wouldn't get away with submitting the exact same essay every single semester for all of my assignments. But she's out here proving us all wrong. This is the actual lineup of palettes from KKW Beauty. I was kidding, but I'm kind of right. How are these 3 different palettes? Am I hallucinating? These are different from each other, I am told. Well, if I'm any proof, this just goes to show that the one thing a half Armenian woman will always have is the audacity. She really hit shuffle on that Spotify playlist and said, put it in a pan and keep it pushing. And you know what? I respect it. Go girl, give us nothing. It has come time to talk about the elephant in the thumbnail, Jeffree Star Cosmetics. As I've said before, I'm not a drama channel. I hate doing research and I hate being factually correct about things. I'm not gonna give you a play-by-play of Dramageddon 3 in which we as a society found out, and by found out, I mean we're told by Tati in a 40-minute video a bunch of stuff we all already assumed, that Jeffree Star has been sort of like the puppet master behind all of this drama within the beauty community, within his group of people, because saying within the beauty community is not really accurate. It's drama between like 5 people max, and then everyone else gets blamed for it because we also like makeup, which I guess means we're all vapid and self-centered, right, Shane? Is that what you were implying? A lot of people watched Tati's video about breaking her silence and the ways in which she felt manipulated and wronged by Jeffree Star and were like, whoa, Jeffree the Star has done something villainous? Jeffree Star's actions have negatively affected people? That's it. I'm taking my Jeffree Star products and I'm throwing them out. I'm depotting them. I'm painting over them. I don't want to see this man anywhere in my makeup collection. And everyone else was like, whoa, Jeffree Star's a bad person? Well, I better take this information and file it away in this folder called Things I've Known for the Past 5 years. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and like get upset with people for either not listening to people who've been criticizing Jeffree Star for years, or who just didn't know all of the messed up stuff he's done that doesn't even touch this Dramageddon scenario, and who just got here to the island of people who don't like Jeffree Star, because at least you're here. So I'm glad you're here, and I'm sorry that you wasted a bunch of your money supporting someone that you don't believe in anymore. that sucks regardless of who it happens to. In this whole Dramageddon 3, Karmageddon, Tati-geddon, Jeffree Shane-geddon, Conspiracy Gate, whatever you want to call it. I think what's entertaining me the most in all of this, and entertain is like a strong word. I'm not having fun. I'm not enjoying the fact that there's yet another drama that people outside of the beauty community who don't actually know anything about the beauty community, aside from the most popular people in it, are once again using that to be like, the beauty community is toxic. Am I independently kind of a bitch? Yeah. But that's not because of the beauty community. That's because I'm a bitch. I would be a bitch outside of the beauty community. I would be a bitch if I was a gamer. I am vibing. I don't know about y'all. Okay, I think I started a clause a couple of minutes ago that I didn't end up finishing. But what I was trying to say earlier is that it is amusing me that so much of the fallout from this new drama situation between Tati, James, Jeffree, and Shane, so much of the fallout is falling directly onto Shane Dawson. And I think it's because it coincides with like everyone on the internet discovering the actual extent of Shane Dawson's horrifically racist and creepy and very offensive videos from like 2009 up through maybe 2015 or 16. So it's just been super bad timing for our redheaded friend. It's been very interesting for me as someone who was a super huge Shane Dawson fan when I was 14 and should have known better but didn't. The stuff that Shane Dawson is currently getting criticized for is stuff that I have known about for years and years, and I thought we were all mad at him for that. I kept watching him up until 2012, right up until he befriended Shanna Malcolm and started using the N-word in his videos, and I was like, oh, I was too much of an ignorant teen to know that much about blackface, shamefully, but that I know is racist, so I gotta leave. And then I like blocked Shane out of my mind for like 6 years. So by the time I checked back in with him in like 2017, he was like this super mega famous YouTuber, and I was like, wait a second, wait. The rest of y'all didn't drop him too? That was just me? Okay, interesting. Yeah, no. And then I learned about blackface more and I was like, oh, so that was always messed up. Got it. Cool. And you, Shane, knew that it was racist the entire time. I also think it's hilarious that in Shane's long notes app, welcome to the circus manifesto announcement that he's leaving the beauty community, which if Shane Dawson can announce that he's leaving the beauty community, if I stop watching other people's Twitch streams, am I leaving the gamer community? I've never been involved in drama with another YouTuber ever, and the second I decided to do a beauty series, boom, I'm in the hurricane. Never been involved in drama with another YouTuber? This implies to me that Shane Dawson does not consider Onision to be another YouTuber, which, you know what? Actually, neither do I. So I'm right there with you, Shanathan. If you decide to do a documentary with the most polarizing, drama-creating, controversial figure in the beauty community, it doesn't matter what community you're in, there's gonna be drama. If Jeffree Star was one of those like sushi chefs whose entire channel is just making delicious looking food out of fish you didn't know that you could catch, let alone eat, but he was still Jeffree Star, there would still be drama surrounding him because he creates it because he's a bad, vindictive, evil person. And that's who you decided to work with and then befriend. So don't tell me that there was nothing going on dramatically and then because you entered the beauty community, well, now there's drama. Buddy, if I decide to chase a tornado in my pickup truck and I get pulled up into the wind, I can't complain that it's windy. I'm the one who decided to chase the tornado. This all happened over a year ago and I'm really sick of hearing about it and having people constantly use it as a way to keep my name and other names tagged together in drama videos. Oh, so people keep bringing up this drama that happened a year ago. By people, do you mean you and Andrew making the conscious decision to include clips from Dramageddon in the trailer for your palette infomercial? I'm sorry, I mean documentary? Are those the people that keep bringing it up, Shane? Is that what you meant? Weird, you should be more specific next time. We weren't talking about this in November when your series came out. And he says later in this, I think, that he regrets doing that. He regrets putting drama in the trailer, which is fine, and he should regret it. It's something he should regret doing. It's smart that he regrets it. It's good that he regrets it. But don't criticize us for talking about the topic of conversation that you brought up. Putting drama in the trailer was something I regret more than anything in the world, and I'm mad that I chose tea over my morals. Okay, yeah, that's your fault. That sounds like a you problem then. Did I ever love this part? I loved this part so much. Okay. Before all the drama-free gurus pop off at me and say, well, I'm not involved in drama and I'm perfect. Girl, please. Your top viewed videos are probably top makeup fails and anti-hauls with vomit emojis all over the screen. And that's okay, I love those videos, but let's not pretend that the beauty world isn't negativity first, makeup second. It's just how it is, and I'm sick of people pretending to be so above it all. Okay, first of all, it's kind of worrying that you are conflating drama between actual people in which 3 individuals in their 30s conspired to take down someone who is just entering adulthood. That's a little worrying that you think that is the same thing as me being like, this Natasha Denona blush is too expensive. It's weird that you're putting those two things together. That's strange. And you should maybe question that. We're dramatic. We're capitalizing off of negativity for saying when we don't like makeup. Buddy, you're the one who chose to make a documentary with someone you knew was dramatic. That's not negativity? You wanting to sensationalize Jeffree Star's life for clickbait? What about your spooky videos? Your videos in which you retell like true crime stories or conversations about people being murdered or their houses being broken into for like creepy effect to scare people. That's not negativity? Because I don't know if the videos of you in that red shirt going, hey guys, would have gotten the views that they did if you were talking about positive, happy, fun things. Today, I'm gonna tell you a story about a girl who went to the store looking for a particular shirt and they had it in her size and it was on sale. All right guys, stay safe, like and subscribe. I don't think those would have gotten those views that you banked off of, Shane. I don't think they would have. And how could I forget? How could I let it slip my mind that for gosh, I don't know, 8 years, you capitalized off of negative and violent stereotypes of all ethnicities for your little skits. Remember making all that money you made off of selling shirts with a racist caricature on them? Do you remember that? Do you remember all the money you made while you were in blackface making horrible, offensive, ableist, racist jokes? Remember Millie, Shane? Because I remember. It was disgusting. She made money off that, you and the Fine Brothers, right? Wasn't that negative? Making a joke out of what would be a really negative situation in real life. Is that how we capitalize off of negativity, Shane? Is it like what you did for your entire career? Okay, this is my absolute favorite part. Let me find it. Was Jeffree excited to see a competitor fail? Probably. He's Jeffree Star. What do you expect? I guess I missed the part where he got baptized and devoted his life to Christ. I'm so sorry. So because Jeffree Star is Jeffree Star, he can act whatever way he wants to. I'm Nisa Nisi Pisa. Can I rob a bank? Oh, you don't get it. I'm Nisa Nisi Pisa. That means I can have this. Bye. That's super funny to me, considering the fact that the original Dramageddon, all the way back in the halcyon days of 2018, didn't that happen because Manny, Nikita, Gabriel, and Laura Lee posted a quirky little picture in Paris on a NARS brand trip saying so much better without you or something that was obviously targeted at Jeffree, and it made him sad? And that's what started that whole situation. Jeffree Star is allowed to behave poorly and gloat over someone else's career failing and floundering because of his own doing. But his own ex-friends can't be glad they're not in his life anymore. And we need to be upset at them for making Jeffree Star cry. Jeffree Star had his rich little feelings hurt. Is somebody sad that they wronged all of their friends? Were you sad? Okay. God, like, I can't deal with, like, just... My God. And okay, this is the last thing I'm gonna say. These are all thoughts that I've had about the situation, but because I didn't want to make a dedicated video about it, I have not shared any of them with the internet. Tati, hey girlie, Ms. Westbrook, you're moving a little shisty for my taste, and I want to talk about why. So one of the details that Tati included in her Breaking My Silence video that I'm still stuck on is that she said she was concerned on the eve of the posting of the Bye Sister video that James, who at the time was at a very tall hotel in Australia, would, upon seeing the video and hearing the things she said about him, go up to the roof of his building and hurt himself. And she got in contact with Shane about that concern. And he said that there's no way James would do that because James is a narcissist. First of all, that's a vile thing to say, and you would think that Shane, being both a person who did an entire documentary series that was like purportedly about mental health and like having a proper understanding of sociopathy, and as someone who is close friends with Jeffree Star and Trisha Paytas, would know what narcissism is and how it manifests itself. But like, wonders never cease. The world is full of serendipity and goddamn surprises, isn't it? Second, Tati. Now, I don't know how people behave in friendships in the Pacific Northwest where Tati's from. Actually, I do. Abby's from there, and Abby's a great friend. My friend Abby Williamson. Anyway, that was a... My whole attitude towards my friendships is if I think there is even a sliver, a whisper of a chance that my friend will commit suicide because of something I did, I wouldn't do it. Wasn't the whole point that James was your friend? James was like a son to you, and you felt like you couldn't get through to him just by talking, so you skipped from trying to talk to him to uploading a video blowing up his entire career to your massive platform of people? That is the scariest thing I've ever heard in my life, Tati. You thought he wasn't even going to hesitate because you thought he was going to do it while he was still in Australia. You were so nervous that that was going to happen that you had to get a second opinion, and regardless of what Shane said, you still did it? That's probably not a detail that I would have shared with the internet, were I Tati. I'm actually kind of surprised her lawyers let her keep that in. Oh my goodness. Why did I even bring this up? To talk about the cremated palette. Jesus Christ. I forgot this was a makeup video. You're all children. I'm not even a fan of James, and I don't want to hear anything about this ever again. Let us show the world that the beauty community is full of smart, creative, talented, intelligent, compassionate people, and not harpies who all secretly hate each other and are constantly making chess moves to ruin each other's careers. Anyway, the cremated palette is ugly as sin, and I'm glad everyone said that about it. First of all, I don't know why Jeffree Star Cosmetics is so married to these massive, gigantic palettes when every single color story they've ever done could be communicated more skillfully in maybe a 12 pan. I almost didn't want to include this comment because I think it's partially informed by my virulent dislike of Jeffree Star, but I hate the pan prints. I think they make the palettes look childish and disorganized. And that's just my onion. I'm not even going to touch really on the fact that Jeffree Star Cosmetics released a death-themed palette at the apex of a global pandemic. Even though I don't like Jeffree Star, I do believe him that it would have been incredibly wasteful and financially devastating and just not a good business move to either push back this launch to when there's not COVID anymore, or to rename everything, which would have been impossible because everything was already made. We know how long makeup launches take. Is it terrible timing and kind of in poor taste regardless? Yes. It's not a true white, gray, and black palette. This palette is actually quite colorful, and I don't think people are really realizing that. It's white, black, and gray, and blue, slate gray, taupe. There's a little bit of like gold almost in some of these shimmers. You could argue some of these eyeshadows are purple, which actually makes it kind of hard to use as a monochromatic palette because it's not monochromatic and it is way too big. If you want a white, black, and gray monochromatic palette, I think you know what I'm gonna suggest you get. This is the Blow and Smoke palette from ColourPop. I have an older version of it from before they changed the name from Smoke Show because of copyright reasons, but it's the same palette with the same eyeshadows inside. This is a goddamn superstar of an eyeshadow palette. I love it, I use it a lot, and it's actually white, black, and gray. It's succinct, it's pretty. If you want to see it in action, I did a video using this palette in October when I bought it that I will link in the description or maybe in the cards. I don't really get how cards work anymore now that YouTube's Creator Studio has changed. You want a monochromatic palette and you wanted cremated and you didn't buy it, or you got rid of cremated, or you don't like cremated. I really like this one, and it's so inexpensive and small and organized, and I'm a fan of it. What I'm really upset with Jeffree Star about is the crimes against lip glosses that he committed with this collection. I think I speak for all of us when I say, what the living f is this? I will be pressing charges. We'll start from the bottom and then work our way up. These look horrible. These look so ugly, and these darker ones I don't think would look better on top of any lipstick. How can you green light a product that makes a person look like this? I don't think that I've said many positive things about Jeffree Star or Jeffree Star Cosmetics on this channel, but if I have, I take all of them back. This is hurting the part of me that loves lip gloss. I need to just need it, please. Okay, I'm calm. I'm okay. Ulta Beauty Plumped Up Pout in the shade Crystal Sugar. My new favorite clear gloss, get into it. The fact that that top shimmery iridescent white one is called Heaven's Gate. Initially when I read this, I was like, why is Jeffree Star naming this lip gloss after the 1980 box office bomb movie Heaven's Gate? That's super specific and weird. And then I remembered the cult called Heaven's Gate. Do I think it is kind of creepy and in poor taste to name a lip gloss shade after a real life cult where real people actually died? Yeah, I know it's a death themed collection, but that's real death, my guy. That's actual death. I think if I were related to one of the like 39 people who died at Heaven's Gate, I would probably feel a way about that. But you know, maybe I'm just a Pisces. It's wild to me that we're actually seeing in real time Shane and Jeffree face the consequences of their own actions, which is something they've both evaded for several years. I think the lesson to take away from this is pay attention to who your friends are. Pay attention to who you ally yourself with, because when you lay down with dogs, you get fleas. Anyway, I have other stuff that I could talk about makeup wise, but I want to get started on doing what I do every night, get zooted and listen to No Plan by Hosier on loop until I pass out. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started on that, but before you leave, I am going to need you to do a quick favor for me. If you could go ahead and have an amazing day for me, that would be, that wouldn't be a controversy. Because like Mini Controversy is one of the palettes that Shane and Jeffree put together. Oh god, I've been talking for so long I've run out of jokes. Thanks again for watching, and don't forget to use code NISIPISA for 10% off at checkout at your local green eyeshadow store. Bye! $50 could buy me literally so many chicken tenders. Like, you have no idea how much damage I could do to my GI tract with $50.